Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. And yes, it is that time. Tottenham versus Manchester United. And we've got some very special guests tonight on our show. So make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It's going to be interesting. Yes, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. And it is a pleasure having these guys on. If you're liking, please like, please share, please subscribe. And tonight we are joined by the guys from Paxton Road TV, Sam Spurs for Life, Darius. Welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And as always, OMONDI, Rebel, part of the furniture now. So let's talk, guys. How are you guys doing? How is the Paxton Road boys doing? And welcome back to the Man United Agenda.
Darius, do you want to take the floor? I'll let Darius take the floor first.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about Tottenham because I want to say that I'm doing fine. And if I'm doing fine, then I'm not thinking about Tottenham. So I'm doing great, guys. I'm chilled. I'm in my house. You know, I've got my cup of tea on the side. I've got my pizza down there. I want to talk about this game. You know, there's been a few good performances, few good results. One very good result that I can remember from last year that I'm hoping happens again this year, but I don't think that's going to happen this year. So let's just, let me not get cocky. Let me be humble on this channel, on this amazing channel. And let's just talk about this game very, very maturely today. Mature conversations today.
I, on the other hand, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to be cocky because that's what you got to do in the previews because the game hasn't gone yet. Was there something wrong with the opening? It was like stuttering. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how both teams are playing at the moment. So that shows this show is going to be exactly like that opening, a bit mash up. Anyway, Tottenham, as Darius said, 6-1 last time we played, but that was a little while ago. Last October, I believe it was. If we had something like that again, happy days. But I think it's going to be a much, much tighter affair. And as we dubbed it on Paxton Road TV, it's El Sakiko. El Sakiko.
Okay, and we're going to give Rebel the floor. Rebel, how are you doing today? Are you looking forward to this? Because it's the first time you meet the guys from Paxton Road. They're part of the FTB family as well. So they're part of the Man United Agenda family.
Big up to the two lads. Glad to talk to you and meet you. It's always a pleasure to meet new football fans around the place and talk about this game. Like, obviously, last week we were left downtrodden, hurt, and we need redemption. As we need a redemption song on Saturday night. So we do.
Okay, I'm on that redemption.
Oh, Pirates, yes, they rob. We drove all the way to Manchester and we got licks and Old Trafford. Oh, dear. Anyway, you know the rest of the tune, how it goes. But I just want to say big up to Nigel and Connor. Shane and Darius. I thought
He's reading the comments. He's reading the comments already.
The way they're punching, they're really good.
Already started.
I just want to know whether our strategy worked to get Mr. B and Talk on the show to wear you out.
Oh, no. I'm ready. I'm ready.
So
they had one hot take. We only
conceding.
gave them one hot take. So, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Guys, go back and watch Paxton Road because representing the Man United Agenda was Mr. B and Talk MU. And hopefully they, gave them a few rounds and made them tired. So when it comes to our show, we can finish them off. But in all due respect, I love you two guys and Mike as well, and Sid and everyone on the Paxton Road. I think you're doing a great job. And Tottenham are becoming my second team, because I'm always tuning in. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Game. Unfortunately, you're going to have to feel the backlash. You have to feel the backlash this week after what happened to us last week. But as we move.
You can get medication for that, Omondi.
Listen, paracetamol ain't strong enough after we went all the way to Manchester to get that. Seriously.
Well, if there's any club that's handing out prescriptions for the beatings like that, it would be top. You know?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Dr. Tottenham, as we call it. Dr. Tottenham.
Dr. Tottenham.
It's all about night nurse. Listen, it's all about remedies today on the Man United agenda. But guys, let's kick off the show and ask the question. Out of these two managers, who is under the most pressure? Let's go around in a circle. Let's start off with Rebel. Go on, Rebel. We're going to come to the Tottenham guys afterwards. Go Rebel, and then Darius, and then Sam.
Honestly, after last weekend, I think it's all on Ollie. The weight of the world is sitting on Ollie's shoulders. He needs a big performance. He needs to come at Tottenham, and he needs to say, look, this 6-0 or 5-0 last week, it was a flash in the pan, back to business, and we need to get going. Obviously, we've seen the Nuno talk as well. There are two managers that are very much under pressure. Nuno is probably slowly starting to bring the Tottenham fans back around, I think. Or at least that's the impression I'm getting, but it's definitely squarely on Ollie.
Yeah. Darius?
And I told up to Monday.
Sorry, he's still talking. Go on.
No, I have to agree with Rebel there. I'm sorry, but I think that the thing is with me, it's not even just the fact that sort of the hiding from last week, and obviously against your big rivals, that's incredibly embarrassing, and you don't want to see that at home. But Mike made a very good point on our show just a second ago. He said that, you know what, really and truly, Liverpool could probably beat any team in that league 5-0, bar maybe Chelsea and Man City. So again, for it to happen to you away from home, at home, sorry, I guess it is really bad. But again, the opposition is Liverpool, so I do think it is somewhat understandable. If you were to lose 5-0 to us in the form that we are, bearing in mind we scored 9 goals this season, I think that'll be very, 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 very bad. And I think that would cause him to lose his job. Whereas if we were to lose 5-0 to Man United, I don't think Nuno would even be close to losing his job, which to me, when I look at it from that perspective, it has to be Ollie with all the pressure. I think that he is on very, very, very thin ice right now. I do think that I could imagine that the board upstairs are maybe not necessarily looking for managers, but I definitely think they're probably scoping out, your Contes, your Zidanes, asking questions, inquiring into teams, because I do believe that there's still time to turn this season around for you guys. If maybe the league's gone, and I do think that the league is going to be extremely hard to even catch up with those guys, because it doesn't look like that any of those teams are dropping points. But that Champions League, if you can get out of the group, then it's a knockout stage, isn't it? At the end of the day, you win games and you can win that tournament. Not easily, but you can win it. And you've seen Chelsea, like you said, Chelsea sacked their manager in November and won the Champions League. So if you bring in quality in that managerial position, your 11 and sort of your bench as well, easily good enough to win competition. So I think, pressure's on Ollie, because he knows that somebody else comes in and they will do a much better job than him with the players that you've got. Because again, I will say this once and I will admit it as many times as I have to. That Man United team, especially that starting 11 now, it's on the same level as the top 3 at the moment. So you should be there, and you're not, and we are 6th, and we should be 6th. So that's my argument for Ollie having more pressure than Nuno. Good
one.
You took that 6th position away from us now, Darius.
You're 7th now, aren't you? Yeah, sorry, don't worry about that.
It's our position. We want it back. Sam, Spurs for life.
Yeah, I'm not going to be as fair to Man U as Darius. I don't think you've got a chance of winning the Champions League, to be honest. Not with that midfield. Let's be realistic. Even if you had a Pep in there, you're going to need to have more in midfield to win the Champions League and the league. However, you've got a much better squad than us in terms of the forward lineup. I believe the pressure is squarely, well, not squarely, because it's just as on Nuno as well, but more so on Ollie after last week. Because I can imagine, had Spurs lost 5-0 to Arsenal at home, it would be mayhem. So you put that into context. Losing to your biggest rivals at your own ground in the way that you did, and the score was kept low, because it could have been a lot more. I know you guys were there at the game, so you kind of know what the atmosphere was like. And that, for Man U fans, is really, really hard to take. The other thing is as well, it's not just about performances for Man United, it's performances and results. We can probably get away with results and not have to play the best type of football. For you guys, you have to have results and performances. So even if you won the game 1-0, your fans will still be onto you because you want to play a certain way. Ollie hasn't got that certain way of playing. So that's why the pressure is more so on him, because he's got to win, but he's also got to win with style. If we just got a nick to 1-0 and we were horrible, we had 5% possession, there'll be rumblings. but we'd probably be celebrating like we won the World Cup. However, if you win 1-0 against us and play like the way you could play with just the counter-attacking of 5% possession, there's no way that your fans are going to be like, yeah, we've turned the corner. So the pressure is more on Ollie. However, we're at home. We need to get something out of the game, and I hope that it's more than a point, but that's what I'm thinking. A point for us, and I think it's a bit more stable. Point for you guys, and I think the pressure's ramped up even more.
OMONDI, fight talk there from Sam Spurs for life, because listen, I'm coming in with the punch, because listen, knockout competition, Darius, I've got you tonight, mate. It's almost like you need to come more on the Man United agenda.
Chill.
You know what? Yeah, I was about to say the same. What Darius said was so cool. I was thinking he's part of one of us, you know.
You know what it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ever since Ronaldo joined you guys, I'm semi-invested in Man United, just because watching Ronaldo score just gives me that memory of when he was doing it back in the day. So I want to see Ronaldo do well. So sadly, that means I semi want to see United actually score and win. But I just think that manager, one change, I really think that will make such a difference for your team. But I don't know if it's any different for you guys, and I'd love to get insight on watching you guys. Obviously, you guys watch Man United every week, so it must be a different perspective, I would say.
See, what I like about you, Darius, you're fair. You're not so tribal, and you love.
That's so true. That's very true. It's very true.
But I'm watching you closely because I think the hustle is on. You're softening us up a little bit. You're saying, I've heard you. I watched your show the other day, and you're saying, "Oh, we're going to lose to Man United. They're going to come and beat us," and all this kind of thing. I'm thinking, is he being for real? Does he know I'm watching? You know, I'm not sure. But anyway, regarding pressure, the pressure is firmly on Man United. Not because only we are a bigger club, not because we're more successful than you, not because we trounce you and buy your best players for year after year, and like that, Michael Carrick and Berbatov, the list goes on. But I think Nuno's new to the job, and I think you've got to give him a chance. I think, to be fair, it's only, you're 3-4 months in. He's proven he's actually done something at Wolves. He's not got relegated. I think he's a good manager. And I do listen in. We do sort of spy on each other. I do listen into your show, and it seems like you're quite happy with him. I know some of the results ain't gone your way. He's rotating the squad, and you're going to get used to stuff. You need probably a season or two. Let him have a few transfer windows. I'm sure he'll be successful for you. But as regards to this weekend, I'm going. And if we don't win, even if we get a draw, it's not going to be good enough for Man United. The feeling is really bad with the fans, and they won't be having it. And the thing is, it's like, how can we go to Tottenham and expect to win? Because you guys, you're not no joke team. You're still a good team. You've got some good players. And as you know, well, I'm hustling you now, Darius. You give it all that, but I'm going to hustle you. You're a good team, Darius. You're a good team. No, after what you did to us last season, after the sort of side you've had over the last few years, top fours, you know, Harry Kane banging goals, Champions League final, you still got it in you. And it would be, I think, the team talk that Nuno will give you will be saying, they're on their knees, boys. They're on their knees. Crack them, you know, rock them up. If he speaks like that, I don't know. Whatever he says in Portuguese, you know, shut up your face or beat them down. And that kind of thing. You've got an opportunity here to really finish us off and have the bragging rights to say we were the ones who, you know, it was the last straw on the camel's back. But yeah, I
do have one question. Do you think if you were to lose, like, regardless of the result, Ole would get sacked, or is it if it's a beating he's going to get sacked? Because I don't think if you lose to us he'll get sacked, but I think if you were to lose like anything more than 3-0, I do think that he's going to go literally after the game. But I don't know what you guys think.
Sorry, Solo. Let me just quickly answer that. I think any kind of, like, we have to get the 3 points. Anything else, you can see they set it in motion now. The one phone call away, we're getting someone else in. That's how it is. I think.
You know what I think it is. I think it's more about how he performs, his selection that he makes. He's obviously can't play Pogba because he's suspended. Varane's touch and go whether or not he starts or not. So is he going to rush him back to try and make up for it, which could be a mistake. It could play into our hands if he does that. Because if you play Varane, he's going to play Maguire because Maguire's captain, which means you're going to have two shaky players in the centre of defence, which means that's going to help us. Luke Shaw's not playing very well. Wan-Bissaka I don't rate anyway. So your back line for me will be under a lot of pressure if we take the game to you. However, there's a more individual players within Man United. So if the players decide we're going to go for it, and if Ronaldo decides that he wants to go for it, and you get an opportunity to go at our back line, I think you'll get success as well because he's a world-class player. However, I don't know if Ollie's going to be able to orchestrate getting them players up to the level that's required to do the pressing style in a week. It's not going to happen. So are they going to go back to a more of a counter-attacking style? That's how I would approach it if I was Ollie. Do what you know. You've done it before. You've beaten us the last time 3-1 our ground. The time before that was 1-0, I think it was as well, when you kind of played off that counter-attack and rushed toward that goal. So that's his blueprint. If he comes out and does anything else after last week, that's just taking a real massive risk, and I don't think he can take that risk. So it's going to be a cagey game, and like Mr. B said, if both teams are going to play this counter-attack, the ball might just be in the centre circle and nobody wants it.
I think the pressure is probably going to be on Ole a lot more, because obviously we were at the game on Sunday, and feeling the atmosphere, talking to some of the fans after the game as well. They've never felt that feeling ever before at Old Trafford after taking that beating off sort of Liverpool. The issue for me is my company just built a shop outside Carrington now, where so Alex Ferguson is getting his suit measured and everything. He's getting his suit measured at the moment as we speak. Obviously, the story is it's obviously a cover-up story. He's gone down there. He's spoken to the players. He's spoken to the staff and everything. Bottom line, that's what he's gone down there to do. But the story is apparently he went for a suit measurement. I don't buy it one bit. I think he's going to be under more pressure than Nuno. I think even if we draw 0-0, 1-1, or whatever the score is, I honestly believe he's only got 3 games left before he gets the sack. It cannot happen. Can
I say something? Is that true, that rumor about Fergie going in and into Carrington and all that? Is that a true rumor?
Yeah, it's a report. It's been leaked. It is a report. Okay. He's been spotted.
So that cannot do Ollie any favors.
More pressure in it.
So that's just more and more pressure. It might help the players. It might galvanize the players to see the most successful manager in Premier League history and probably ever, to come to them and say, yeah, lads, come on, what you doing? But Ollie's like thinking, hold on a minute, that's undermining him. You can't have 70-odd-year-old Alex Ferguson just trotting up with his blue nose and saying, he wants to tell. No, he can't do that. So Ollie's even more under pressure now because of that.
But Sam, don't you think Ollie would? I don't think Ollie would mind that. I actually don't think Ollie wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
Yeah,
I think he's actually encouraged.
So Alex Ferguson is God to him. Obviously, that's who his manager was.
Yeah,
but he's not player no more. He's a manager. So you think of it like yourself. You've just had a battering off Liverpool. You've not been playing. You've got all these stars in your team, and then the manager from the past, who haven't bloody managed for years, decides, I'm going to rock up at Carrington and I'm going to talk to the players. What would you do? I'd be like, hold on a minute. What's going off here? That's how I would feel. Might be different for him.
Or could it be, Sam? Could it be that he actually called Ferguson to come down for a bit of moral support? Because
he should have called him about 2 years ago, then, shouldn't he?
Wouldn't be surprised.
The worrying thing for me, and I think if you watch a show, well, I know you guys watch us, but for me, I always say for Man United, it's a game or two off. You don't know what Manchester United team will turn up. You don't know if they're going to turn up first half or the second half. And it always seemed, we were at a game on Sunday, and I was sitting there with OMONDI, and I was thinking to myself, right, we're probably going to play crap in the first half, because we always play crap in the first half. And within the first 3 minutes, it's almost like Bruno Fernandes having a shot, and we're like, oh my God, this game's going to be on. And then all of a sudden, down the other end, Liverpool scored, and it's almost like one bad thing after the other, continuously one thing. So I think Ole will be under a lot more pressure. I just would like him to succeed, but the problem is I can't see it now. I think there's too much damage has been done with the players coming out. Apparently, certain players are coming out criticizing his training method. It is very difficult when players do that with manager. It means the writing's on the wall, and that's it. No matter if he wins this game, the next game, he's going to be under scrutiny all the time.
Yeah, agreed.
I agree with that 100% there. 100% agree.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're watching, please like, please share, please subscribe. We're in the Man United Agenda, and today we're joined by Sam Special Life and Darius 3K, and they are from Paxton Road TV. Go check the channel out, guys. And we said, as we said earlier, Mr. B and TalkMU from the Man United Agenda was on their channel earlier. So please go smash a like and share and subscribe to them as well, please. So, what do we do? So I want to go into. Let's go through one or two comments on there quickly. You pick the comments, read them out, and then we can answer them. And then after that, I want to go into the last 6 meetings. And please do not smile, guys, because it's painful, one of the score lines on that.
Only one, though, to be fair.
It's only one. It's painful. It's still painful.
It's a bad one, but it's only
terrible.
one.
Okay. Mr. B, he's just
Big
coming
up.
to your channel. He likes it. He says Big's the Paxton Street.
He likes it so much. He knows the name. He knows the name. He likes it so
Paxton
much.
Street, you know, that's cheeky. He's so cheeky.
Cheeky.
Proper cheeky.
Here we got Connor, the 6'7" Yank. He says, this is a game for me personally. His dad's a Spurs fan and didn't let him forget the 6-1 until a year after Christmas. Until Christmas.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to say on that comment, you guys are never, ever, ever, until the day I die, I'll be letting you lot know about that 6-1 because I don't know if we're ever going to see a 6-1 ever again at Old Trafford. So I'm going to let you lot know about that for the rest of my time alive, mate. I'm just going to let you know.
I think this is said in jest by Box. Box is saying Ali is the danger man.
He's definitely saying that in
Box
jest.
he's talking about. I don't know, but here we go. Yank again saying he's trimming his soul patch. I don't know what you're referring to. Yank again. Ollie for sure. Rumoured this is about pressure. Who's under more pressure? Said Ollie's for sure under more pressure. Rumoured that he's only being kept on because to fix the congestion. After these 3 games, he's most likely gone. It's what Solo said. Nuno could be gone by Christmas. Any truth in that, guys?
I agree with that as well.
I do. You've got to look at the way we're playing. We've suffered the 2 and a bit years of Jose. You know that. And even though Jose played dinosaur football, he got the best out of Kane and Son last season. We're not getting the best out of Kane and Son this season at the moment, and we're not scoring goals, conceding goals. We've lost 4 London derbies. In any other manager's tenure at Spurs, they would have been gone. I can't see how someone would survive. He's only been in the job, I know, since June, July, whatever it is, but that can't continue. We can't continue having 9 goals in 9 games in the Prem, conceded 15 or whatever it is. You can take them sort of numbers down the street. We're going to be in the bottom half easily if that continues. So there has to be a change because we sat Jose where he was. It can't continue with this.
I agree. The only thing I wanted to add on to that was the difference between sort of the situations between our 2 clubs is even if we were to switch our manager and bring in like a Ten Hag or a Potter or whoever we want to bring in, there's still about 5 or 6 players that we got to get rid of and still about 7 or 8 players that we got to bring in for me to start even thinking about being excited and looking at that top 4. I genuinely believe if you guys were to switch your manager this week or next week, you could save your season quite significantly. That's why I think there's a massive difference in pressure. And I believe the Man U board know that themselves. I know that Ollie's a legend and he won you guys the Champions League, and I get that all, but I know that they're seeing managers out there who are available to be taken up on freeze. Let's not forget, Zidane and Conte aren't in jobs, so you're not going to have to pay sort of any fees to get them out of jobs. You bring those 2 managers in, you see an uptake in form straight away. So
the only thing I would add to that, Darius, is, and I'm sorry, I just want to say this last point.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's the midfield. You can bring in a manager. You're going to have to somehow get Pogba into that midfield as the most dynamic player. You can't have McFred in there and expect to be top 4, even challenge. You can't. I'm sorry to say. You can.
If you've got Greenwood, Rashford, and Sancho and Fernandes and Ronaldo, I look at that Liverpool team, and I know that Liverpool midfield was a fantastic midfield. They had Fabinho, they had Wijnaldum, they had Henderson, but the midfield technically isn't as good as all their other midfields because they score 100 goals a season, and if you score 100 goals a season, you're always going to have a chance of winning the title. In my opinion,
I'll tell you the difference.
Darius.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say.
Sorry, let's just get through the comments, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Father and son, you can do this later. Nigerian Englishman, he says, big up man like Darius. Really Spurs fan, I know. Shout out to the whole panel, though. Ollie in, he's saying. Annie Herbert is Arsenal fans. Nuno got time being new, then compared to Ollie. But the board loves Ollie and has been backed by the board with the players. You got Ollie in and Solo and Fred saying Fred forever. Let's a couple more here before we move on. Solo, read my comments out now. I want to hear you say it. I don't know which one it is. Sorry,
I know what he's talking about. It's this
comment. I think he wants to hear you say Ollie in. I'm not.
No. It's this one. I'll find a comment. You go through those.
Box is saying Tottenham will finish above Arsenal again. Arsenal are looking all right this season, aren't they? Here we go. Bath time with Vaughan, one of our favourites, says we think he's already sacked. It's about leaving with some dignity. Okay. And Collins says, don't think the board wants to bring in a new manager when there's 1 or 2 days between each game until the international break. Once the City game is over, that's where we might see the move.
When's that City game? Sorry, is that in a few weeks' time? I'm guessing.
So we got Chelsea coming up. We got Tottenham, Atlanta, Chelsea, and then I think City after that. Villarreal and then City. So it's
you
constant.
guys have played off November, haven't you? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next time
It gets harder and harder and harder.
I
And
think
you've got Leicester as well sometime soon, haven't you, as well?
After as well, yeah.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, everyone, thanks for the comments. We're going to move on with the show.
This was a comment from Nigerian Englishman, and it was, I did say it, but I remember also go back and watch the video. I said we'll win the league, but we still need one more player.
I confess as well, I did say on transfer deadline day that we expect to win the league. That should be like our
Bread and butter.
key performance indicator. We got high expectations. We've become second last year. We've improved the squad. We have a good manager. We should be pushing for the league. But unfortunately, the manager's getting exposed right now. So, yeah, that's where we're at.
So, guys, if you're liking, please like, please share, please subscribe. Thanks for all the comments as well. We'll get through as much as we can. And it's your preview show of Man United, well, Tottenham versus Manchester United. Now, let's go on, and we want to look at our last head-to-head, sixth head-to-head, and this is the painful part about it. Absolutely painful. Oh,
What have you got, Solo? What you got for us?
Anything that's painful with Man United, mate. This is our last record, Man United, Tottenham. So on there, Man United lost, what was it? Tottenham lost. So 3-0. We got battered by them.
Wow.
1-0. And then the worst part for me is that on the 4th of October 2020, who was the manager? Jose, wasn't he? No, Ole wasn't he? Yeah,
Jose for us,
Jose.
Ole for you. Jose for us,
yeah.
Ole for you, yeah.
And that's
And he gave
But
him a
did we
little,
have hold on a minute.
he done that thing
We
with
had
his
a
little
little-
Gave him the little head rub, did he? Yeah.
That's
had
when
10
Marshall
men.
got sent off. Yeah, Marshall got
Yeah.
sent off for no
Yeah.
reason whatsoever.
So that's void. That game's void for me. I don't know why they're large
Void.
enough. We lost the Young
Okay.
Boys with 10 men as well.
Put a little V by it then, Solo. Put a little V by the 6-1.
Thank you.
Void.
Void. In history, we'll never be there at all in history. But with this, obviously, we know we lost 6-1. But they're not. Would you guys really say these are high-scoring games? They're not really particularly high-scoring games, though, are they? Apart from that 1-6-1.
What it does show is that you lot have got a very good record against us, you know, and even going back further, we had a semi-good record when Poch was there. I remember going to your ground and with Bale, you know, all that, they're scoring and winners are there. So we've had some decent times, but nothing like your record against us. What I still go back to the point though, if you guys go for it, you're going to put us under a lot of pressure, but you're going to have some dynamicness in midfield. The gap between the double pivot and the forward players I saw was massive. So Bruno Fernandes is almost playing as a second striker with Ronaldo. Ronaldo's not coming back into midfield like what Kane would do. So the gap between them two is huge. That's why you need a Van der Beek. That's why you need a Pogba who's going to be forward thinking. McTominay and Fred are not forward thinking players. They can get forward, but they're not forward thinking players. There's a difference. So because of that, that's why I said you can't win. Okay, what manager you bring in, if they play that as a double pivot, it's not going to work. They're going to have to change the way they play to get somehow, in my opinion, Pogba in there playing if he wants to play for Man United, and possibly Danny Van der Beek, because you haven't even let the guy play. And
Shane.
you're telling me that McTominay and Fred are better players than him. Come on, now.
Sam, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What we need to do, this is what I'm saying, you made a great point about Bruno Fernandes, playing so high up the pitch, because we're saying, I'm a 10, I'm going to cheat, I want to play the number 10. You got Dele Alli and Lo Celso. I think they're sort of almost number 10s as well, but you refuse to play them where they might want to play high up the pitch. Aren't you playing a sort of free at the moment, free in midfield?
Doris, you want to go on? You can
Yeah, no, to be fair, like I think, well, the double pivot for us, we don't have a good enough defense to sort of play one defensive midfielder, and that's obvious. We tried to play 4-3-3. Dele Alli sort of being a box-to-box midfielder, because he's not got that sort of attacking threat anymore. That's why he's not playing higher up anymore on Monday. He just doesn't score those sort of. He's not going to score 18 goals in the season like he did in 2016-17. So if he's not going to do that, he's not really got any point playing there, because his best role or his best attribute was going past that striker. So I'd rather have sort of a Ndombele who can be in that space and still pick out the passes and stuff like that. And Lo Celso, again, I think for Argentina, absolutely amazing player. Man of the match in most games and probably one of the best players on the pitch. For Tottenham, not the same player. So I just think that for us, and sort of because we have a centre back issue, not centre back issues anymore, because Romero is an excellent centre back. I just think that double pivot, having two defensive minded players for us works better, because our defense, again, I guess your defense isn't as good as ours, but I just don't trust our defense. And at least with you guys going forward, you have 4 players sort of who will all be able to score and create chances. Whereas us, if it's not Son or Kane creating chances, it isn't anybody in the team at the moment. I mean,
can I step in there, please?
Yeah,
Rebel,
go ahead.
did you hear what you said, Rebel? He said he doesn't think our defense is not as good as theirs. Just one thing before you go, Rebel. I just want to say, when you got players running at you, because the midfielder, Sam was saying, midfield's so poor that every week we've got teams breaking on us. It's hard to defend. You know, we're not a unit there. But I think our defense is great if we had the right manager and set up maybe 3 in midfield. We'd be better with Bruno coming back in. That's just my opinion. But you're saying your defense is better than ours, Rebel. What do you think about that?
Well, I was having a look at this today, and start the season Premier League only now. None of the cups, none of the Europe, none of that stuff. Just straight up Premier League, 9 fixtures. Obviously, 33% of your games you had clean sheets, the first 3 of the season. 33% of the games you conceded 3 or more, which is the direct opposite to what you started the season with. And then you had 1 or 2 goals in between. Then, so for that reason, I think you can throw clean sheets for both sides out the window on Saturday. The one thing that surprises me under Nuno, though, and there's a man called Matt Doherty playing for you, and he was Nuno's general at Wolves, and he, apart from playing a few little cup games here and there, he doesn't seem to be getting a look in or a snuff of a look in the major settings. And that kind of surprises me because he had a bit of an attacking threat at Wolves, and you'd have thought, you know, that'd be bang up his street to bring into the Tottenham setup and to push on and help Kane and your sons kind of expose defences. But look at, like, offensively, obviously, you have Harry Kane and Son. Let's not fool ourselves. Harry Kane is Harry Kane. How many times has he stuttered in the August, September fixtures and then turned around and been next to or actually top goal scorer in the Premier League? So let's not fool ourselves as to his quality. Even this season, I think he has a 50% on target rate with his shooting. So he's going to haul at some point. Just hopefully not against us. But like, looking at the defences, like when I look at this Royale guy, I see a lad that's trying to acclimatise himself. I don't think he's fully acclimatised to the Premier League yet. Yeah. Dyer, I don't think any Tottenham fans going to defend Dyer, but let's call it.
You don't have to look my way for the defensive Dyer. No chance.
Romero, I'll give you Romero. He's a fine boy, and he seems to have settled very, very fast, which in the Premier League it's a hard thing to do. So big ups to him for doing that. And then on the other side, then you've got Reguilon, who, depending on how he's feeling, could either blow like the Sahara or could be off down the pub for a shot. Because
very true.
But like as I think you hit the nail on the head. I think what Sam said, the way that those teams are going to play and likely to play, you could have a pitched battle in the centre of the circle, and it could be a kind of case of, come on, you attack us. No, you attack us. Because
I think that's how it's going to be. And just go back to your point, Rebel, about Doherty. Okay, so Doherty did play well at Wolves, but Nuno was actually the one that wanted to get rid of him and got rid of him to us. But he plays better in the back 3 than a back 2. So what I say about that, as a wing back, he's okay. Jose looks like he absolutely sabotaged that guy. Took his confidence, took his whole soul, threw it away in the dustbin.
He looked short.
Yeah, he did the same thing to Luke Shaw. Look how Luke Shaw had to build himself back up. Doherty, I think, is done. We're not playing the back 3 anyway, and he's only good in that. And I don't even think his confidence is there to be able to play fullback or back 3. That's one thing. In terms of, I think you mentioned something about Harry Kane. The difference again, Harry Kane, does usually have slow starts in August and September, but we've never had Harry Kane physically and visibly saying that he wants to actually leave Spurs, which we know over the summer he wanted to do. So I don't know whether his heart is 100% in it. If your heart's not 100% in anything, that's going to affect your performances. So all this talk about, Harry Kane might come good. Yeah, he might come good, but the chances are he might not come good because he don't want to be there. And if we don't play well, what's his motivation for playing well other than getting paid? He's always going to make the England squad. He's England captain. He's got no danger of not making the England team. So he doesn't have to do anything. As we saw with the game when we played West Ham, it just looked like a real lack of desire to stop Antonio from getting his foot to the ball, whereas Harry Kane could have done that. He was in front of him. So I don't know if his motivation is there to play at the highest level for us.
And also, you got to remember as well, Sam, Spurs for Life, and also Rebel. as much as we're saying Harry Kane, normally by now he's bagged a few goals, really and truly, hasn't he? He's like quite substantial amount of goals this time because remember, come February, March, he's injured for a couple of months, isn't he? So
you haven't had that yet. So.
He's going to be off for a long time. I reckon he's going to be out for a 3-month job for me personally.
Yeah, the next time he goes down, that's it. He's going to be croaked.
He'll be booking tickets. His wife will be booking tickets to the Bahamas as soon as she sees him injured on the pitch.
That's it. So that's the first part where we went through sort of the that result. So what I'm going to do now, guys, Rebel, I know you wanted to, whilst I'm getting this up, I know you had a question you wanted to ask, talk to the guys about. You want to hit that question for Spurs, boys?
Yeah. Again, looking at what's happened so far, given the issue that we've talked about so far today with Tottenham's struggles in terms of going from clean sheets to conceding the way that they have, the concerns with the motivation of Harry Kane, are you confident of getting a result against us, given how the season's gone so far? And the array of attacking talent that, if United come for you, that could come to bear on the Tottenham defence?
Sam, you go first, please, because I know you'll be a little more positive than me on this question. So I'm going to let you go first.
I'm only going by how I look at the game and see what happens. These footballers, as much as they are paid a lot of money, they're still human. They would have got absolutely battered all week. Social media, all the rest of it. They probably can't go out and do too much because fans now are so close to the game in that sense that they can really let them know what's happening. So the pressure's on the players as well as the manager. They know they've got to perform for themselves. You've got the likes of Harry Maguire, who is the Man United captain. Again, is he showing enough leadership qualities on the pitch? I don't think so. You've got Ronaldo. He probably wants to be the captain, or he's probably the captain by default in that team anyway. So he's got a different approach to the game. He wants to win, but he wants to win for himself. So there's lots of separateness within that team. I see it. Bruno Fernandes, I know he's part of the Portugal team, but it doesn't look like there's a real harmonious relationship between him and Ronaldo. It doesn't look like that to me. And I always go back to the point about the midfield. If your midfield consists of 2 holding players and the gap between them 2 holding players in your front line is that big, you can't create. You're going to have to just get the ball to your front line and expect them to do the bits like what they do at PSG sort of thing. I just don't know if Man United have got enough quality elsewhere on the pitch to continuously do that to become a top 3 or 4 team. They can certainly be the best of the rest, but to go on to that next level where Liverpool, Manchester City and Chelsea are, you're going to need a little bit more. We're comfortable just getting a result. If we just get a result against you lot, that's great. But you lot, as I said to you before, got to get result and performances, which is the difference.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have no confidence in my team at the moment. I don't see a result coming from United, from Tottenham at all. And that's only because even if Man U were to sort of do this naive pressing sort of tactic that they have done, which I do think they will do, because I think Ole will go out with sort of a point to prove. He knows he needs to win this game. I think people do see Tottenham as sort of an opportunity at the moment, because if you like I said this fact, and I know Sam wouldn't want me to repeat this on this channel, but I am going to do it because it's a terrible fact and people need to know. But in 3 separate games this season, we've had 0 shots on target. Not even 0 shots on target. 0 shots altogether in the second half. Wow. in three separate games this season. So if I tell you that stat and we go down 1 goal, I don't see us bringing it back, and that's what scares me. And these sort of numbers, and a lot of people don't like to sort of go on about numbers, and neither do I. I like to watch the games and sort of make a judgment on the game from my own sort of view of the game. But when you sort of don't know how to explain performances, you look at underlying numbers, and again, if you look at sort of distance covered, shots taken, chances created, we're in the relegation zone for a lot of those opportunities, for a lot of those stats. So all of that is just damning. It's damning evidence for me that suggests that as much as we have good players, and I know that you guys have mentioned Kane and Son and all those players, as much as you have those players in the team, if you can't score a goal, you can't win a game. So if we don't create chances, or we don't start creating chances, and that either comes from like buying players in January who are going to start, creating and playing the right balls, or a system change, I really don't think we're going to have much of an opportunity against teams like that. And then just to add on to sort of this game specifically, and I know Sam mentioned this earlier on, but Man United, if you look at individuals, Man United clearly have the better team in terms of individuals. And if we are looking at 2 bad teams with 2 bad managers both in bad form, you then have to look at sort of the difference maker, which is the individuals. And Ronaldo, Greenwood, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, all these players are going to be able to score a goal if they have to. And when I see our team and Bergwijn scored 0 goals and Hill scored 0 goals and Ndombele scored 1, Lo Celso scored 0 in the Premier League. Even Kane's only scored 1 goal in the Premier League this season. It's very, very. I think it's almost wishful thinking for me to say that I could see us scoring more than 1 goal. And
so let me add this then, Darius. If that's all right, and you said about the front line and being fantastic, phenomenal. They've got Ronaldo, Sancho, Greenwood. The fact is, Man United have scored 16 goals this season, and that's the same amount as West Ham have got. And that's a lot more than us because we've only scored 9. But if you compare that, Everton have scored 15, Leicester have scored 15. They're in 8th and 9th. West Ham have scored 16. The difference being, Man United have conceded 16 goals. There's not a team in the top 12 that have conceded that many goals. So I don't care how many great forwards you've got. If you concede goals at that rate, you cannot be in the top 4. So the problems are not about them having the greatest forward line because they've got a fantastic forward line. They have to stop people scoring. That comes back down to the midfield and the defense. They're not at this moment good enough to do that. I'm not saying that we are, but if you're going to compare that as a stat, yeah, they've got better forwards, but they haven't got a cohesive enough defensive unit to be able to stop teams scoring against them at this moment in time. 1 clean sheet, apparently.
And well, that's one clean sheet in 22 or 23 is for us. But at the same time, you got to think we conceded 5 against Liverpool and 4 against Leicester City.
Yeah,
we conceded.
That's a good point.
Don't remind me. I mean, come on. It's a different. The league doesn't lie, to be honest. And that is fair. That is fair. And I'm going into this game. I mean, we are both teams really negative. We're not really happy. I think we're a bit more miserable than you guys. It's
that's the expectation, isn't it? You guys are expected to challenge for the league, and we're 6th place. I'm not going to lie to you. If we didn't move in the table for the whole season, I'll take 6th place right now. I'm not going to lie to you. And the difference is.
Hold on a minute. Let me ask you a question. Forget the stats. When you're watching, you guys watch your games. Do you enjoy watching?
No. And it's almost on the same. And when I tell you, I despised last season. I hated watching football under Jose. I'm beginning to feel like that now. And this is the thing. I'm beginning to feel like that now. And the issue is I'm seeing absolutely 0 chance creation. You can have Harry Kane, you can have Son, whatever, but there's no cohesion in the team. There's no chance creation. If we're not having any shots on top, like Sam said, and Sam said this in the stream before, no shots on goal. You're not even telling me that you can't even have a long range shot in 45 minutes of the game. There's something very, very wrong, and that's why I'm not happy at the moment, because even if it was Jose, at least Jose sort of got the best out of Son and Kane. We can't even get the best out of Son and Kane at the moment. So there's big problems, big problems.
100%.
So
can I just ask one? I think Kane should be getting booed because
he shouldn't start.
He's lethargic. He doesn't do anything out there. And last year we were having a strong debate about the level of Kane, and I was really adamant. I was saying to you guys, I don't think he's good enough. He doesn't stand. He's coming too deep. It's suggesting he ain't got the pace to get him behind anymore. And now with losing the attitude as well, I think he's pants. To be honest,
I said on Paxton Road, I said, I would honestly, if I was the manager, I wouldn't start Kane. I'd have the most dynamic front three you can possibly have and take it to that defense, because I don't think Maguire and sort of Varane and Luke Shaw want a fast, pacey front three running at them. I think Varane and Maguire would 100% be able to deal with Harry Kane on the weekend if he starts. I think that if Varane starts and it's Harry Kane, I don't think Harry Kane will get a look say, but I definitely believe if someone's up front, that's a different story in my opinion. So I wouldn't start Harry Kane. I could 100% agree with you there on Monday. 100% agree with you.
Yeah. So guys, if you're watching, go on, finish off Rebel before I go on to the next part.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Last season when Kane was out injured, Son went on an absolute tear. Is that not true?
100%, and he does it every single time Kane gets injured. If you actually look, and you guys wouldn't know this, but I think, what is it, Sam? For the past 4 years running, Son's been player of the season. Everybody sees Kane for the goals that he scores. And don't get me wrong, you got a striker who scores 25 plus goals a season. Anybody would take that. But the real sort of main man, and I've always said this, he's always been my favorite player for Tottenham, is Son. He always picks up when Kane is injured, and because Kane's never not in form like this, so it's always when he's injured, Son's always there. And even when Kane isn't injured and he's still scoring, Son's still there providing. So, and obviously you saw last season it was roles reversed and Kane was providing for Son. Son's never ever dropped off. He's never lost. He's never really been injured for a long period of time. He's the main guy. He's been doing it this season. He's got us out of how many holes? 1-0 has always been Son scoring. For me, he's the main guy, and he's proven that his enthusiasm proves that. So yeah, I wanted Harry Kane, 150 million. I said sell the guy and let's bring in 2 or 3 world class players. But there's this sort of this feeling of, oh, we're now a big club because we can hold on to our big players. It wasn't the right decision to keep Harry Kane. And like Sam said, his heart's not 100% in it. So I can't expect the guy to put 100% in if you don't want to be there. That's literally psychologically facts. If you don't want to be somewhere, you're not going to put the 100% effort in.
He's in psychological. I just had a quick point and then we can move on because I know you've got lots of stuff you want to ask. That if you think about it, you lot would have taken Harry Kane in a heartbeat had Cristiano Ronaldo not come to your club. In my opinion, I think they would have got Harry Kane. Maybe not you, OMONDI, but certainly the board would have gone for Harry Kane. I know that. If you look at a player like if you look at a player like Hotspur, 100% I reckon he would get into your midfield ahead of someone like
wait. We are gonna do a quick 11.
I wasn't gonna do the 11. But I was just gonna make I've mentioned those players because you look at Kane would have got in. You look at Hotspur, I think he would have got in. You look at Son, I definitely think Son would have got in. The other little enigma that we've got is someone like Tanga Ndombele, who is absolutely got genius talent. He's got the talent. He hasn't got the application. Now, if you could unlock that talent, he's a world beater. That's not an underestimation. You've just got to watch that player play. But at the moment he's playing like a school kid. He wants to do the flicks and tricks, but his consistency in terms of his football ability has to be taken to another level. I don't know if Nuno can unlock that. I don't know many managers are going to be able to unlock that. It's going to come from the player himself. But those 4 players, I reckon, could make your team. If we can get them 4 players playing, even if it's a one-off game, on Saturday, we win the game because I don't believe your midfield can cope with that if we can keep the ball away from you. If your players have the counter-attack attitude, I think you will be able to take it to us. So, because our defense is not good enough. Sorry, that was what I was wanting to say about that.
Okay, so guys, we are going to do a combined 11, but unfortunately, I've got my predicted lineup for the weekend and we're going to play around with it a little bit and do a combined 11. So, if you're watching, please like, please share, please subscribe, and put your combined 11 for the starting on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And on Monday, we'll be at the game as well, doing fans live fan cam. He will be there doing.
Just quickly, when I see Sid, is Sid going to be down there? Your man?
He should be, shouldn't he? Definitely, he'll be there. He'll be down there, won't he? Sid should be down there.
Yeah,
so
tell Sid I'm going to look him up.
100%, 100%.
So here we go. This would be my normal lineup for the weekend. So guys, what we're going to do here for a few minutes, we are going to play around and we're going to find out who would actually start and who wouldn't start. So let's start with let's just have a conversation around it, guys. Let's start off in goal. Who's going to be in goal? Let's just go around the table.
I'm happy to keep it with De Gea.
Yep.
I think, you know what, just on De Gea really quickly, I do think he's improved a lot this season because I thought De Gea was on his way out of the Man U door. I think Dean Henderson is a very good goalkeeper, and I thought De Gea didn't have a great season last season, but he's made some really, really important saves this season. I think he has improved a lot. So you've probably still got another couple of years left. I don't know I don't know who you guys would rather prefer. That is a good question to ask. Would you rather prefer De Gea or Dean Henderson? But he's improved this season. He's been really good.
For me, De Gea, what he did, he saved you in that Atlanta game, and he also stopped you from getting 10 against Liverpool. So De Gea for me.
Mm-hmm.
Rebel.
Firstly, Ollie Solo, thanks for the lineup. But yeah, definitely De Gea. There's absolutely no questions. And I have another player that can be very firm on later on, but De Gea is 100%.
Yeah. And then let's go Monday.
I'm not sure about De Gea. Shot stopping yet. I still think Dean Henderson's got to say, as Darius was saying, his form last season suggests to me he would have been my number one. De Gea, I think there's a few issues there that I'm still not completely happy about. I remember last year, by the way, when we done this combined 11, you guys said, and we all agreed on your goalkeeper.
No, I didn't.
Well, that was
I'm going by this season's form. I'm not going by over a period of time. I'm going by this season.
Fair enough. All right, yeah. Go ahead. We go De Gea then.
I'm going De Gea, and the simple fact I got De Gea, and as what Darius and Sam's first of all I've said, Atlanta, even against Wolves, against Liverpool, we would have been absolutely battered. And then Leicester, it would have been more. If
these games we conceded 9 goals.
No, it doesn't matter, but that's the defense.
Wonder you could have conceded 25 goals if it wasn't for De Gea.
Yeah, exactly. Your boy at centre back. I don't know what's going on with him. Okay, back four, guys. Let's just go start left back.
Are we going based on season form? We are going based on
season. I'm just going by this season.
Okay, yeah, cool. In my opinion, then I don't think Luke Shaw should be in there, and I will admit Luke Shaw is a fantastic left back, but I think he's not been great this season at all. And I would say the same for, you know what, I'd probably say the same for all your players, but our defense ain't that much better. So I'm gonna say I would put in Romero and Reguilon, and I'll let you have. I don't even want Maguire in there. I'd put Varane and AWB. So that'll be mine. Reguilon, Romero, Varane, and AWB.
Agreed. It looks like Luke Shaw's been back on the donuts again this season. He left the donuts last season, but it looks like he's had a couple this season.
Yeah, Krispy Kreme's got some new flavors out. So.
Krispy Kreme's.
Rebel.
Looking at AWB, he's probably in there as being the best of a mediocre lot this season because none of them have really performed, to be honest with you. I'm going to give you Romero, absolutely. Varane, on the basis that we haven't seen too much of him yet because he's been out of the team a bit, but he has to go in there over Maguire after his performance the last couple of games, to be honest with you. Yeah. And then Shaw, Reguilon, again, I'm kind of looking at the two of them, and Reguilon, I'll give you the shade on Reguilon, I'll be honest with you, even though it's close.
It's a toss-up. It is a toss-up.
Yeah.
For me, Shaw. Definitely Shaw for me. I'm not having that Spanish guy. I don't think Shaw's still, I know he's been with me before this season, but Shaw's still doing the business. I mean, this is the guy who scored in a European Championship final, and he was playing a dream. Look all the assists he had for England. So this
season.
I know, but it's on the cusp.
Not last season. He was great last season.
He was fantastic. He was fantastic last season.
This season, he's on pizza at half time. I'm sorry.
All right. I'm still going to be sure. I like Romero. I like Romero. I think he's a quality signing. Nice on the ball and just clean and tidy and does his business. Once he gets settled, he'd be a don out there. Varane. And I'm going with your boy, Casino Real. No,
you're going to go for Emerson.
What do you call the quarter pounder in France? What's his name?
Emerson Royale, my friend.
Emerson Royale.
Casino Royale.
The reason I like him. I think he's going to improve.
Okay.
I'm happy that you didn't choose AWB. I didn't want to say that, but I really don't rate him.
Only because Sam's on the show, and I know he can't stand him like with Tatanga. You know, so yeah,
guys, double pivot. Then let's go double pivot. What we're looking at, double pivot, and please do not disrespect Fred. I beg you guys.
I'm going to disrespect Fred incredibly now. Get both of them out and put both of ours in, and that's all me. I can now go on mute. Those two should not be in the team. Those two should nowhere be near the team.
Let's throw out the names of your two, please, Darius.
Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Oliver Skip. I'm going to put those two in there. 100% over those, Fred and McTominay. I know that Fred gets a lot. Fred does get a lot of hate, and to be fair, the whole team should be sort of getting grilled for what's going on. But I'm sorry. Like Sam said, if you do want to go for these titles and big trophies, you ain't going to win them with Fred and McTominay. McTominay is the better player of the two, and I think he's probably got a bigger ceiling. But get those two out of there and put Højbjerg and Skip in, because I think.
Have you seen Fred? You know, you're saying about your Argentinian getting man of the match and everything else. Have you seen Fred play for Brazil?
Yeah, I mean, every Brazilian looks good for Brazil, to be fair, when you're playing Peru's and those lots. So, and I get that, but for me, we're not talking international, because Lo Celso would definitely be in there, and I'm not putting Lo Celso anywhere near this team for club form. So unfortunately, I know you want to put Fred. I know you got a bit of a Fred love there, Solo, but I'm sorry, I don't want to see Fred. What Brazilian has a name called Fred? I know there was a striker called Fred, but. Yeah. He must be from Bradford. I'm sorry. He's not Brazilian. He's not Brazilian.
We've said this before. He's a fake Brazilian. He talks like he's Brazilian. He's not from Brazil. Like I said, them two, they should have golden arches over them. McFred, I don't care what you said. They play like Ronald McDonald. Take them out. Come on. Get rid of them. It's got to be Højbjerg and Skip. There's no way that them two could be ahead of them two. No chance. Not for me.
And Rebel?
In terms of his football brain, Matic is probably the pick of the lot. Unfortunately, his body isn't able to actually respond in the way that it needs to anymore. So if you were to say who you'd want in there in terms of a football brain, you'd probably go Højbjerg, Matic. Unfortunately, Matic isn't going to be mobile enough anymore. So I'm going to defend my boy Fred and think that next to Højbjerg, he could actually do.
No way.
He could actually do what he does next to Casemiro at Brazil with Højbjerg beside him.
And you know what? I do like that point. You know what, Rebel? That's a good point. I will admit a good point when I hear one. I will admit that. Højbjerg makes Fred a good player. I can still compliment my players and give Fred. Højbjerg would make Fred a much better player. So, Rebel, I'll give you a round of applause.
I would make Fred look a better player. Come on, man. Let's be serious about this. Let's not be silly now. I've watched Fred at close quarters, real close quarters. He doesn't do anything. He has an odd game. You can't, as Roy Keane said, you can't have an odd game for Man United. You've got to be, as a midfielder, 100%. Think of the midfielders that you've had over time. What midfield would he get into of all the midfielders over time? Not one.
I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to go Højbjerg and I'm going to go Fred. End of.
Oh, Solo.
Okay.
Look, let us move on because I think you.
Wait. I need to bring some balance in here.
Thank you, Monday.
Just by the way, on Friday night, so Mr. B has his own show called Friday Night Takeaway, and he has a segment on there called Wally of the Week. And I know, unfortunately, Rebel and now you, Solo, right? We're gonna take a little snippet of this, and it's going on the show. Wally, plural of the week. No doubt about that. I would go. Put it this way: we're picking a side. I'm the manager. Each of us is going to be the manager of the side. So I'm picking Pogba and Højbjerg.
That's a good shout.
That's a good shout.
Pogba's not playing.
Oh, sorry. All right. I'm Matic and Højbjerg then. Matic, because I'm managing the team, and that's what I want. And I like that.
You want Matic. Okay, the front three guys. Let's go, Darius.
You know what? Let me say this quickly because I do think that this is quite easy. For me, the only Spurs player that gets in there is Son on the left. And then you can have the other three, in my opinion. And I'll just say this: Bruno. I'm not the biggest fan of Bruno, but I can appreciate an amazing play when I see one. He creates chances, he scores goals, he gets assists. I just personally don't really like Bruno that much, but I can, like I said, I can appreciate a fantastic play when I see one. And of course, I'd take him in my club if he was to join. And he was meant to join my club. So yeah, Ronaldo again. Everybody knows how I feel about Ronaldo. One of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time. Messi the best, Ronaldo the greatest. I always say that. So that's me as a thingy. And then Greenwood again. I'm talking so much praise about your team, but I'm sorry, but Greenwood again. I put him, Bellingham, and Foden for me, the three brightest English talents. I think Greenwood's finishing ability is genuinely scary for me. Genuinely scary. I do put his finishing ability on the same level as Erling Haaland. And I mean that with all my heart. Mason Greenwood is one of the best finishers I've ever seen. He's left foot, right foot. I mean, the goal he scored against who did he put it top bins? Leicester. The goal he scored against Leicester. Yeah. Oh my! Honestly, like some of the goals, and then I can't remember the other goal he scored. You know the one where Pogba put it through. The amazing goal that Pogba played through.
Leeds.
That for me is one of my favorite goals of the season because that finish right there, left foot across goal like that to hit the post like that. He's for me, Greenwood is one of the best English talents. So I will give you those three, but you have to let me have Son. Like not having anything else, you have to let me have.
They have to. His Son's in that team.
There's no question. Son goes in, but you can have the other three. I'll happily let you have the other three.
And I'm not going to add much more than that. Son, you can have the other three, and it would be a real crime if Ollie not say destroys, but if he hampers Greenwood's career because they should be playing him every week. In my opinion, he should be playing as number 9, but Ronaldo's in now, so you can understand why he's not. But he should be playing as number 9 because his talent levels. That's who we should be having after Harry Kane. Is Greenwood, in my opinion.
Can I ask a question to you? Can I ask a question to you, Man United boys? And by the way, Sam, you can dream on for that one, mate. That one that's a big dream, Greenwood. But no, can I just want to ask a question about Man U and Ronaldo because Sam brought that up. Do you think that Ronaldo joining Man United is going to sort of limit Greenwood's progress? Or not limit, because I do think his ceiling's going to be very high. But do you think that Ronaldo playing as a 9 now is going to sort of see Greenwood not get as many?
I think it will help him. As a player.
How? Tell me how.
Because obviously Ronaldo joined Man United at 18 years old. Greenwood, is still 18 years old now? So it's about learning from him. It's about understanding the game more because eventually in 2-3 years time Greenwood will be our number 9. he will be our number 9.
Can I respond as well?
I'll go on.
Yeah, so Darius is saying Greenwood is one of the best finishers out there with Haaland. I disagree. He's one of the best shooting. I've not seen him dink the ball over a keeper one-on-one. We don't see that. That's not in his game yet. Best shooter, no doubt. I mean, left foot, right foot, puts in the corners, and he can't reach it like that. But as regards to whether Ronaldo is, denying him or preventing him from developing, I don't think so. I think in training, like with Cavani and with these sort of senior players, he will learn a lot about the position. And in going forward in the next couple of years, when he is playing as number 9, hopefully he will be picking up so much, and not just that, about professionalism as well. So I think it's not hampering him at all. I think it's going to make him a better player in the long run, because he seems like he soaks up a lot of thing. You saw him last season; his stats went down, but you can see in his gameplay he was developing. He was doing the right thing, making right choices, decision making, that kind of thing. So you can see he's really developing slowly but surely, and he's going to, when he peaks, with the finishing, the shooting he has now, added with the finishing, added with the professionalism that he gets from Ronaldo, the training, the tricks, everything else, we're going to have a real decent player for England.
I'm going to make a little bit more of a controversy on that. I think he'll learn more from Cavani than he will off Ronaldo. And the reason I say that, Ronaldo is not the same player that he was. Cavani, if you watch him, still is the same player that he was in terms of his movement. He still makes them same runs, near post, far post. His movement is what creates them opportunities for him to score. So he's 30 odd, and he's still making them same runs. That's what Greenwood needs to learn. Ronaldo is a phenomenal player, a phenom, but he's all about Ronaldo. So the way he does things is very, very much individual. Green doesn't have that talent. He doesn't have that talent. So you can learn and you can watch him, but he ain't Ronaldo. I would model myself off Cavani because of his movement. That's how you're going to create a monster out of Greenwood, if he can get that movement right. And as you said, OMONDI, start having a bit more cultured finish. The 18 years of age, come on.
Ceiling is too high. Ceiling is too high.
I want to comment on that, if you don't mind. The one thing to remember there, Cavani would have been job sharing with Greenwood regardless of whether Ronaldo was there or not. So we'd have been seeing Greenwood on right regardless of whether you had a Ronaldo. Cavani's out of here at the end of the season. His contract's done. He's going home. We barely convinced him to stay this season. Ronaldo may or may not decide to be a one-and-done season, depending how things go. You never know. But basically, you got Greenwood working with 2 absolutely top-tier level forwards. And if you cannot learn from a combination of Cavani and Ronaldo on the training ground, there's something wrong.
Agree.
You either have a disconnect from your brain, or you just are deciding to take your money and run with it. And as regards the 3 in the midfield, Rashi, Bruno, Greenwood, no questions.
Yeah, I would put Rashford in there, only, and obviously not over Son, but I'm saying no. Listen, Sam. I'd put Rashford over Greenwood if he had played more through the season. I would put Rashford on the right because I think Rashford is the best. But
no, but Son Rashford on the left. Because that's not where even the Man United fans say Rashford on the right is Rashford's left. So
no, he's not.
He's a left-sided player. So put him on the side what he plays. He's not beating Son. Put him on the right. He's shit. He's
2 goals in the 2 goals in 3 games since he came back for Rashford.
100%. But that's on the left side. It's not on the right.
Yeah. So on Monday, because we're going to go score prediction now.
I'll be quick. I want Song on the left. This season, going by form and everything else, I'd have Bruno, but he'd be playing a lot deeper in my system. And Greenwood on the right. And I would have Ronaldo up front based on this season. Just to counter what Sam was saying about the difference between Cavani and Ronaldo. I don't think there's much difference. I think what Ronaldo does now, he's changed the game completely. He is a Cavani Mark II. Or the equivalent, really. If you're talking about movement in the box, ghosting your defender, getting that space. Look at the header he scored from Luke Shaw's thing against Atalanta the other day. You know, he created his own space, got back on the side. It's all about little cute movements in the box. And I think they're both on par with one another, Cavani and Ronaldo. I wouldn't say one's better than the other.
So would you say, though, from a defensive point of view, who would be the better player out of Ronaldo, Cavani? Because I see Cavani as being the one. I've watched him. He does that pressing.
More. He presses
a lot more. And that's what I'm saying. A forward doesn't just score goals. If you're going to play a certain way, you want your forward to do more. So if I'm just watching Ronaldo score the goals he does, that's great. But if I watch Ronaldo's career, he's never, ever pressed. You have to be some player to be Ronaldo. And Greenwood's not. Let's not get it twisted. But Cavani is a very, very good player, but his game is not just built around that whole finishing thing. Obviously, his finishing is great, but he's pressing from the front. As you've seen with Liverpool, they wouldn't have the same team if Salah, Firmino, and Mane didn't do what they're doing.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's my point about that.
I just want to counter that again. Not a counter, but it's just like
I like with
because we can go back and forth all day.
boxing.
But I just to respond to that, I do agree with what you're saying about Cavani. They are slightly different players, but I think sometimes when you got to recognise people's strengths and people say, "Oh, he doesn't press anymore," then you got to adapt and change the team because what he gives you with that movement in the box and the goals and finishing his dinner. That's effective. Goals. This is what he does. Even last season at Juve, goals. I think he was top goal scorer in the league. So that's because they play to his strengths. And if it makes you sacrifice a style of play, whatever, people say, "Oh, he doesn't. We can't do this high press." Then don't press. Wait till they get to the midfield and press them there. It's a simple solution. It's not. You have to sort of balance things out. I think when you got great players. Just going back to what Darius said. Darius said he's probably one of the greatest players of all time. I totally disagree with that. I think. It's this kind of thing is a lie to say that, and I'm kind of offended when people say these guys are the greatest players of all time. Messi, I can sort of go with that, in that bubble, but Ronaldo, no, not for me. Pelé is still alive, and people are just overlooking him. Like everything they're doing these days, Pelé's done before. At 17 years old, 1958 World Cup.
Well, the thing is, I'm going to counter-attack
anyway,
I'm going to counter-attack. You've got to think, I'm on day.
His head's gone.
I'm going to counter-attack for a few seconds, and then we're going to go on to score prediction.
Yeah.
I was watching, something was on television, was it a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about, obviously, Ronaldo being the greatest, and some people were talking about, like, Pelé. But what they're trying to say was, that was then. We're talking about in a generation right now where you got Messi and
we need a new show. We need a new show.
We need a new show.
Get me on the panel because I will go in seriously.
I
with
that.
new modern day football, people don't know. Look in 1990, early 1990s, the game changed because you had the back pass rule would change. People used to clap people for fun, take people out of World Cups and all this kind of thing. It was disgusting back then. The game has changed completely, but that's for another debate, I think. And I can see Red Bull agreeing with me. I mean, Rebels agree with me, calling you Red Bull.
On Monday, you're welcome for the back pass rule, by the way. That's the Irish rule, just so you know. We take credit for that.
Well, on Monday, we're going to get you a little clip up as well for the Friday show. We're coming to get you.
Oh, no. There's no way I can be a one of the week.
About Ronaldo, you have no giraffe. Okay, guys, let's hit the score prediction. So let's ask the guests first, their score prediction. So let's start with Darius. Score prediction.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna change it from Paxton Road. I'm gonna keep it the exact same I said. If we've scored 9 goals in 9 games, there's no way we're gonna score more than 2 goals. And the players that you've got up front, Greenwood, Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford if he starts. Who else? Martial. I don't really rate Martial, but again, he could score a goal. I can see Man U scoring 2 goals even if they play terribly. So unfortunately, because I predicted a loss against West Ham and I got it right, I'm going to say 2-1 United. I do think it will be an awful game to watch. I think it's going to be an absolutely disgusting game to watch. So, 2-1 United, not any confidence in Tottenham. And if Kane doesn't start, I will actually predict a win for Tottenham if Kane doesn't start. That's it.
Sam?
I'll go with my same prediction as I did on Paxton Road as well. I really do think it depends on who scores first. If we score first, I think we can potentially get a draw out of the game. If you score first, I can see it being, a counter-attacking masterclass from Ollie if he does that way. I'm going for a 1-1. Spurs score first, but as Darius said, I don't think we can keep clean sheets. So, and you can't either. So I think we'll score, and I think you'll score, and I think it'll be 1-1.
Okay. 1-0 on Monday.
Yeah, 1-0.
See the game.
Score first, manage the game. I want to see it. I've been waiting. I say it every week. I just want to see it one day. So I'm going to continue to go with that. Like with lottery numbers, and one day they pop up. So yeah.
Monday, by the way, I agree with you on that. People hate on 1-0. There's nothing wrong with a 1-0 if you can see a game out. I think it does show a lot of character in your team.
Yeah, big time.
And Rebel.
I go to do like Darius and throw the clean sheet out the window. It's going down the highway and it's going out of here because it's not going to be there. I'm going to also say 2-1 to United. I'm going to say Rashi opens the scoring. Son gets one back early in the second half and Cavani comes off the bench to get 2-1.
Nice.
I'm going to spin it. I'm going to be with my confidence as always, no matter what, where, when.
Like he was last week. 4-0 we're going to beat them 4-0.
Oh, God. I knew it was coming.
It had to come. You know it had to come.
Brace yourself. Brace yourself, guys.
I'll brace myself. Listen,
shit.
I'd always go for like a 3-1 win, but I'm going to go with Rebel. I think it's going to be like a 2-1 win. I think it's going to be an ugly game. It's not going to be nothing nice. It's going to be very scrappy. Both teams, well, both managers don't want to get the sack on the weekend, but one of them have to get the sack. So
you think
it's going to be one of them have to, isn't it?
Nuno's staying 100%.
Yeah, I think Nuno's staying. I agree. I don't think
Nuno's
if you lose the game,
anywhere.
Nuno
I want
stays.
Ole them to get there. I do desperate want us because the thing is, sacking manager, yes, but for me, I'm a Man United fan first, and I want 3 points. I don't care about anything else. I want the 3 points. So for me, Man United to win, to beat you guys. I don't. Result is result. If Ole's going to get sacked, he's going to get the sack. But right now, Man United to beat you guys. And also, guys, remember, if you're watching, please smash a like, share, and subscribe. Monday will be at the game on Sunday.
Saturday. There'll be
So
no one
guys,
there on Sunday.
Exactly. Guys,
Sid, where are you, Sid?
yeah. I love it. Okay, so Darius, where can we find you?
Oh, you know where to find me, guys. If I'm not gonna be on this channel, which I wish I was on more, but unfortunately I'm not a United fan. So when we play again at Old Trafford, you'll see me on here. But you'll see me on Paxton Road, always chopping it up with Sam and Sid and Jody and Mike and everyone. And again on Twitter, I'm Darius3K. But yeah, make sure you do subscribe to both these channels and the Armory TV because you know we are all a big family and we all have absolutely amazing content that we're ready to show you. And Cop Talk, of course, with Cop Talk just opened as well, just recently. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to all those channels. And yeah, Paxton Road is where you can find me if you do want to see more of me. I don't know if you do. I'm not the prettiest person today at the moment. I haven't had a trim in a long time. So yeah, maybe when I get a haircut, come back and see me.
Brilliant.
So smash a like on this channel firstly. That's the most important thing.
100%.
Fabulous, guys. The Manchester United agenda. Great output. The last week, it was great seeing all that stuff down with the fan cams and all the rest of it. I know there's a little bit of trouble there as well, but you guys dealt with it. So that's all good. Yeah, find me, Paxton Road TV, you know, preview shows, review shows. We've got lineup shows, Art, Sid, Judge Jody's player ratings. And yeah, we're just trying to get as much content out there. As Sola said, part of the FTB family. So yeah, go over there, Paxton Road. Even if you're a Man United fan, come and watch us as well.
Brilliant. Thank you. And guys, we're going to wrap it up there. But if you are watching, please like, please share, please subscribe. And remember, we've got Paxton Road TV. Go check them out as well, guys. As I said, Mr. B was on it as well earlier with talking.
He's never coming back on again, by the way. He's never coming back on.
He destroyed you guys. And then also remember, Cop Talk as well. It's a new channel. It is a Liverpool channel, but it's part of the FTB brand. Also, we got FTB Sports as well. You can find Premier League Roundup. You can find 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other as well. You can find OMONDI on the boxing as well. And also, we got NFL that's popping out there from Tuesday, coming the 2nd as well. So check that out as well. And also, we got the Armory TV. Yeah, it's all part of the FTB brand, and we are part of the FTB brand. So guys, thank you all today for liking, sharing, and also subscribing to the Mania Agenda. And also remember, you win yourself a Bruno Fernandes football shirt once we hit 1K subscribers. So please tune in and keep an eye out. Thank you for watching, and good night.
Good night.